Hi, so I haven't mentioned doll's housing for a while, but I have been thinking of it and not forgotten, and today I got this. So I'm going to open the box. There's the kit, and this kit is going to make a fairy tale town. So the kits can look a bit intimidating when you first open them, but Nick is not going to be intimidated, and neither am I. So when you open them, they have basically got hundreds and hundreds of small parts. So you've got like your main parts like that might look a bit more obvious. Your wooden parts, obviously you've got these, and this joyously exciting bag full of tiny stuff that needs building. We've got some batteries, obviously, for a light as well. And the instructions can be quite sort of, I love these paper bits. I love them. So here we are going for a lighted little book nook of an enchanted world. Keys, don't look at the whole thing at once. Each thing at a time. A bit like, say, a Lego kit or something, you know. Okay, so I've got together the full glue arsenal. This is not honey, this is PVA. We've got clear PVA. We've got high tack, just in case. We've got miniature pegs. We've got a world of paintbrushes and some scissors. There's also tiny scissors. I've also read the first section, know what I'm doing. We're going to construct the house on several sides first. Nick's going to give me some help. That's obviously spectacularly helpful, thanks Nick. And I'll show you how we get on. Okay, so here we are with stage 1 of construction. It's a lot of cutting, a lot of following instructions. And we've got the basic. Now you can see I've made a giant mistake because I stuck the damn thing backwards with the pink at the front. So I'm going to have to paint over that bit. But we've got this constructed here at the moment. I'm going to put in some pieces. So we've got like a jetty here that we've made. And we've got another part, and these are carefully like angled. Look at these are called teeny steps, teeny steps, and they're going to go there so that the people can obviously walk down. And then we have a bridge, stone bridge, and this stone bridge is going to fit in here. I liked this bit because we have the mirror, and don't worry about that because it's going to hold itself up in a minute. We're going to take the film off the mirror. Okay, so it was too difficult to hold it like that, but how utterly satisfying is that? You know, it's worth doing it just for that bit. Okay, going to keep that just in case, like do with everything with the doll's house, just in case. Now there were 2 triangular bits of wood, and I had the wrong one first of all, so this is going to go in the corner. They often have these in the corner to make sure it's secure, you know, to add strength here. But also I found that at first I thought this mirror was supposed to just fit in the back straight, and I was like, it doesn't fit. But of course that's because it's supposed to go in angled, and this is how we are. So it's always really important to read your instructions so that you can really carefully see. Now I know it's all fallen down like that, and that is exactly what happens, which is why you get to the spectacular joy when you get to glue it all together. But I am not ready to glue it all together yet because I've got to do some electronics first. So I was just showing you, obviously the bridge is going to go in here, that's now come off, but I've got to hold it all together and do some electronics, which is always the scariest bit. So this is most definitely one of the best bits. Okay. Da, 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 da. Being a miniature electrician rocks. Okay, so this is where I'm leaving it on day one. Our windows are all glazed. There's glazing there. Okay, lights working. House built. And the first building is built and it's all stuck together. It's so difficult to see which side, and I am going to have to repaint some of these bits, but we'll get the paints out tomorrow. Grade some curtains and some shutters. That was the word I was looking for, some shutters. And you can see I've got the glue like pushing it all together, so we're waiting till tomorrow, waiting things to dry. Big difficulty. Okay, loads of little pieces still to play with. See you tomorrow. So starting with day two, we have a building in. So we have our house. This is the light which is hanging over, waiting for the roof to be fixing on because it's got its wiring and stuff underneath here. The building is in. I have repaired the little bit of paint there, which we're not going to see when we've got everything else in front of it. This window is open, so the curtain is in there, which is pretty cool. And it's time to get going on the coffee house, which is going to be here. So I totally love doing this bit where you're picking up tiniest little bits of green and putting them on. Just so much detailed fun with every single little spot like that. Tiny bits of glue. So we've also got today a little window box. That was really hard to work out the bits of wood that were similar. I think I'm going to add some more green to that. And we have curtains here in the coffee shop window and little other bits of fabric being used today and signs. Unfortunately, this was broken in the packaging, but I can fix it, okay, when it came, so that has broken. So this building has been made in different pieces, the windows and the flower box and the actual coffee shop and the railings in front. Oh, that was my favourite, absolutely. So now we're just waiting for them all to dry so that then they can go back into this, they can be assembled in this one here, so not separately like this, but it's going to be assembled on the wall. Okay, probably no point in painting that bit because I now realise it's going to be covered up, but never mind. So end of day two, and we have our house in. I put this one upside down and had to pull it off, so there we are, making mistakes. I find cocktail sticks are endlessly useful for gluing, and the little pegs which are currently holding up the railings, I'm going to have to do the railings separately to get them to fit on, but that's where we're just leaving that to glue. I'm only stopping because life is getting in the way and I have to go to a party instead of dolls housing all day. You know how that is. But that's where we're leaving it at this moment and pick it back up tomorrow. Okay, so we have a little bit more construction here with the ceiling, one side of the ceiling roof on and our railings on. I'm just going to say that this is the hardest bit because these bits of wood, honestly, that one's 1.5 and that is 1.6. And identifying all these bits of wood is really difficult because I have all these bits of wood left over. So the really slight differences is really difficult at the moment. So that's where I am. So the little boat with its flowers is in there. and I decided to add some plants here. But the right wall combination, right article combination is how they describe it. So we have our balconies. The balconies are among my favourite things ever. Fabric difficult to use as ever. Slightly changed the design of that one. Added a couple of extra plants and things. Now I'm waiting for it to dry so it can be assembled. So it's time for the construction of the right hand side, which is really tricky. I've ended up having to take the steps off, but they're going to go back, so we're not going to panic about this. There was also a plant here because the fitting in is going to be really hard. So I've put the glue down my two sides and I'm going to have a go. So it's relatively easy to get it in the front, but it's this second part that's really tricky to make sure it's all lined up so that you're getting a really good joint at the back. I also had to take off, so this is no good. Obviously, we need to get this one because it's quite close, all the stuff at this end. It's this. I always, after the joy, the gorgeous joy of making all the little things, the constructing of the building can be really difficult. So I'm gonna keep my patience. I am. Okay, so that's that side making a good connection. But of course now the front is terrible. So without taking that one off, I'm going to keep a good connection there with my hand and wriggle the front. You might not be able to see it now because I can't manipulate the camera and that. So with a wiggling, got a good connection there. Wipe off some of the excess glue. Nice tight connection there. And here. So are you wondering, don't worry about this, are we wondering how we're going to do that? Do I have to hold it forever? Right, so we're going to have to turn it down on its side now so that the weight of the house itself is going to help those two add here, like that. And I'm going to turn the light off so that I'm not wasting the battery. And now I'm going to wait. So for this corner here, where we might be coming off, okay, which is the original corner here, so I want it to be at this top, I'm going to use the pot of glue. So that's going to hold up there. So the roof has its window construction, which was also really difficult, but I'll come back to that at the end. And we have the window in this side, which was easier. And there's a couple of little things here. So these were the steps which are now going to have to be poked in because they just won't fit otherwise. Okay, so now I have to be patient and wait, leaving it lying down here like this, drying, and then we can sort out the other construction bits. I also just thought it was funny to show you the cocktail stick graveyard. I've got through so many cocktail sticks, you know, all sitting there glued up. Also using tiny pegs here. They are holding it round while it dries in the glue.